Now, before we get into this entertaining video, we would just like to remind you to like and subscribe.
Yes, please do like and subscribe.
Sunflowers! Well, hello there, everyone, and how are you guys today? Well, I am here because somebody has requested a reading on a male Indian actor. Now, I could try to pronounce his name and mess it up, but I will try anywhere. Anyway, Karanvir? Karanvir? I hope I pronounced that right. So here are my cards right here. According to some recent, some recent comments that we have received, he is apparently married. I tried looking it up. They keep it very hush-hush, cannot find very much information on about that. But it does seem, allegedly, apparently, that he may be married and also may have kids. I'm not really sure. I thought I saw some pictures of him and his kids, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with this actor and his features. So with that, I cannot look at a picture and tell if it's fake or not, or if it's him or not. So with that being said, because there's not too many articles stating that, I am just pointing that out there. And because of that, just in case he does have a wife, I've picked a female card just to symbolize when I go to pick out. So with all that being said, we're going to be doing a reading on, I'm still going to call him K in this episode, this tarot reading. So we're going to be doing a reading on K. His name will be like right here. And so with that, let's see what is going on in the cards with him at this very moment and his career. Okay. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. All right, and one more. Okay. Okay. So he goes right here. His wife, supposed wife, will be slid right into here. Now, I don't purposely try to put it towards the top, but I try to put it towards the top enough where she might have the chance to pop up. After all, I do have to place 8 more cards going around there. So let's just see if she pops up. And if she does, I will take that as a confirmation that he is married. Okay, well, he definitely is married. Allegedly, according to the cards. But there is some news articles out there, and if people say he is married, then I will take it at face value that he is married and also has kids. So with that, what is currently going on in his life at this very moment, or career? We see him looking. I know it may not seem like he's looking in this direction, but his body's just turned to the side a little bit, so it's like he's almost looking at it, but not really. So what's in his general direction, which this will be his past future, which means this is what has already happened, but also is going to be trailing into his future a little bit. That like influence of what he's going to be carrying on with him into the future is a mask. Now, I'm not sure if that could represent the fact that he is just literally two-faced, in the sense that he has a public persona and a private persona, meaning he has his actor and his name to live up to, but then behind the cameras and closed doors, he has a family that he might not talk about in the media, or really keeps them down on the DL, where not even many people captured pictures of them. Now, I'm not sure if India is like America, where they have just a bunch of paparazzis around to take pictures of these actors or not, or if it's a little bit more respectable culture. But and if that is the case, then there's not many paparazzi, whatever it may be called in India. I'm sorry. Maybe they could be photographers there in India that are not for photographing Karanvir. Is not photographing Kay and his significant other and his family. So because of that, that is kind of where he is, and that is so fitting for what's going to be coming towards his future, which it kind of almost looks like he's looking in that direction, but he's really not. He's like looking more head on with his body turned to the side a little bit like this. So because of that, what is like right beside him, where like, you know, where his body's turned, like kind of like in the back of him, but it's really his future, and kind of like he doesn't see coming is a pathway, which is basically a choice, decisions to make, roads to go down. Maybe he is getting, who knows, maybe the fact that he keeps his life so private is coming in the way with his private life, simply for the fact that maybe public, his fans that are in the public want to ship him with actresses that he acts with, that either they have good chemistry or they just look good together. And maybe his wife, even though she knows that he may love him and that they've had kids together, so all that, maybe she could still be like, you know, just a little bit insecure about that, especially because it's acting. And really, when you're like dating an actor, like high props to people that date actors, because when you really think about it, they're actors. They know how to act and be convincing at acting. So because of that, you know, maybe she has that, you know, little insecurity that, you know, is he really being like flirtatious on the job, and like it's just coming off as like acting, but like really he's like not acting. So, you know, maybe his wife could like have those kind of feelings, but you know, and also because of that, because so many people want to put him in a relationship because they may not know he's married, that could also come in the way with his public persona, because maybe he puts like some barriers between him and his like co-stars, but like not enough barrier to where it gets in the way of acting. But I'm trying to like all make this make sense on how his career and his life is all mixed up together, because we got the mask right here, which represents two-facedness, or just living a double life. And that's basically where he's at, and he probably has to make the decision of, what are you going to do? Are you going to choose your family? There we go, that's how the cards are. So he's pretty much stuck between, is he going to choose his family? Is he going to choose his career? How's he going, if not, how could he maybe curate his persona so that way maybe it cannot affect his love, his personal life. So he's like really at this moment, actually, ironically, thinking about his career, but also thinking about what he loves at the same time, because what I see above him, which is the ship, symbolizes going on a journey, basically traveling, or maybe even doing something out of his comfort zone, maybe. As an actor, maybe he does have to travel, and if he does have to travel, maybe that can also come in between his relationship too. I'm not quite sure. But what I do see for Kay, I'm sorry, I wish I could really pronounce it. I really wish I could pronounce his name. However, what I see with him at this, what in this very current moment that is on his mind or is weighing him down, is having to be busy recording, going here, going there, doing this, doing that, basically. Who knows? Maybe sometimes the acting career could be, the acting industry could be very taxing. It's demanding. It also requires a lot of time, and it also requires a lot of energy. And because of that, we have the star card, which is below him, and the star card represents wanting to be hopeful, maybe even wanting to share, because he's literally a star. And because of that, he has the what you say, like the opportunities and the doors opening towards him where he is able to travel down paths that are available to him. And because of that, because he has these options and these things before him, because this pathway represents his future and this represents what's on his mind and in his present, but also it's facing towards the future. So he's going to be making decisions, basically, like I said earlier, about what is he going to do. And because this ship just happens to be going towards a female, I see that as, who I said symbolized his wife, I could see that symbolizing that he is going to, I see that, to break it down, what I see with Kay is that for his career rise at this current moment, he's thinking about the decisions and where to go and where to take his career at this very moment. I'm not sure if he has many many roles lined up for him. And if I think I did some research and I think there are a couple of shows or movies that he is said to be acting in or starring in. So because of that, he is getting publicity. And at the same time, with all this media attention while also having a private life, remember, being that double life two-ness, being basically having two personalities, having a public persona and a private persona. And we see that while he's making decisions for his career, everything on his mind is always going to be making the right decisions for his family or for his wife or for his relationship. So, like I was saying, if he does take a job, he has to think, how is this going to interfere with my family life? Like, I want to be an actor, but I also have a family. I want to be in the public's life, but I also don't want them in my personal life. I love paraphrasing, he may not love the attention, but just being an actor comes with the attention. I love the attention, but I just don't want the attention to be drawn too much on me and what's going on in my personal life, because we all know how once the media and the public and everybody gets in your business, your relationship somehow immediately starts going down the drain, because there's too many people, too many hands, too many thoughts, and too many opinions going into your relationship. And because of that, that can really bring confusion and really change your perspective, especially if the people are sounding really convincing. And maybe you had a little inkling inside of you, and like somebody said something that just makes you think, you're right, that does make sense. So because of that, he's trying to avoid that at all costs. So that's why nobody really knows that he has a wife, and nobody may know that he has children. Now maybe his directors may know that, because maybe he maybe writes something in his contract, or maybe his managers know that, and so they have to pretty much people within his staff know that, but they are literally paid to be silent. So basically, even certain people may not exactly know, because he's really trying to keep this hush hush private, because he just doesn't want people in his relationship, just literally. But that whole tangent to talk about, before I move on to his future, because that does look a little bit juicy, we're going to go touch back on his past. So therefore we can see what brought him to this present moment before we see what's going to be happening from this present moment. Now, what we had on his mind, in the past time. So remember, I said in the past he was two-faced. It still technically is, like I said, double life, personal life, private life, two separate beings. Doesn't want them to intertwine whatsoever. And because of that, maybe on his mind, now this poverty does not literally mean poverty, but that just means lack of having or not being abundant in something. And maybe that's how his acting career was. Maybe he just wasn't getting the roles like that, or maybe the roles that he wanted. But also, maybe it also could be that, like I said, he wants to keep part of his life private, because who knows? Maybe the fact that he has a wife and children is going to completely change his image and the roles that might be assigned to him. I'm not exactly sure how India feels about, because I know India is a a subsect, I'm going to say, like a cousin of Asia, literally. So because of that, knowing how, at least just specifically going off of K-pop, like Koreans, I just think I'm not trying to generalize, but just the fact that, like, maybe Koreans are a little bit more uptight in the image of maybe keeping idols, their people's relationships private, so that way the fans can how can I say this in the nicest way? So their fans can think and ship and basically maybe even dream to be in a relationship with this person. So maybe the same type of ideals come into the Indian culture, and maybe because of that, maybe that's why he has to keep his relationship a secret. Because how would it be if he's all lovey-dovey up on camera, playing single probably at that, and we know as the audience that he is not single and actually has bibis? Why do we, it just doesn't match. It's like the concept doesn't match the image, and because of that, it's almost like hypocrisy in the way, at least how it comes off, like you're pretending to be single when you're not single. You're pretending and showing all this love, but you really don't have that love to give because somebody already has that love. So it's almost kind of like, blurring the lines, and because of that, maybe the audience can get a little confused or a little too invested, especially when they act really good and you really want them to be in a relationship, and now it becomes a threesome because it's just like, well, you have a wife in the picture. But this, you have such good chemistry with this woman. Why? That's how the audience is going to feel. So maybe he just has to keep that part of him a secret so he can keep getting roles, so he can keep providing for his family. You see the dilemma here? Who knows? Maybe he does want to be public with his relationship, but maybe he can't because it will harm his career. That's the kind of energy that I'm picking up from this reading, but don't worry, we still got the future coming. So also in his past, we had the clover, which symbolized something that he accomplished. So maybe he struck lucky. Maybe he just happened to get that role. Like recently, we had done a reading on Kay with another woman. I'll put the thumbnail right here, but they played such good actors. This is also who I'm kind of thinking about at the same time. This could be applied to any female that he acts with, but just think about that. And his wife has to look at these rumors and speculations on the internet. Like, how do you think she has to feel looking at this? But maybe that careers thing that did that for him, and now his career's skyrocketing, booming, when it first was lacking in roles and opportunities and maybe not like the best paying jobs, and now he gets the jobs. Okay, I'm not sure if he's like getting like the top paying jobs, but we definitely see that he is moving forward on from this, and is going, and now he has maybe something to work for. I mean, he could have been working for himself, or maybe he could have gotten married before even becoming an actor, and because of that, maybe he came into acting because he really wanted to provide for his family, or maybe along the way he realized that he wanted to have it all, the family and the job. Like they say, wanted to have his cake and eat it too, right? So because of that, it was like he struck lucky. Like he got to like have it all, got to have this dream, got to have the vision, got to have everything he wanted and hoped for and dreamed of and wished upon a star for. So he's basically like living sky high at this moment. However, we have to remember that while this is all looking good, peachy and rainbows and cream, he has to achieve it by living a double life, because he has to keep his romantic life private. So therefore it leaves the public and us tarot readers to read on relationships that people wish to see him in. but all of that, and who knows, maybe even the females that he acts with, it always could be a job, but sometimes there is always that on stage chemistry that just happens to translate into real life and becomes a real life relationship. And then also too, that could be leading to affairs, and his wife could also happen to worry about that too, especially as he continues to make her especially as he continues to get opportunities, and maybe, like I said, have to travel and have to go long distances and spend long periods of time away from home, being around, I will say it, attractive women. Not saying that she's not attractive herself, but put anybody around an attractive person, and let's see what happens. Some people have the restraint, some people don't. And sometimes, especially if you're just acting and you really in the field, something might just accidentally happen. And because of that, he has to now maybe reconsider and think about maybe the type of jobs he takes, and maybe that career that made him boom and pop with that one TV series was like the catalyst to that. And maybe some roles that he's taken since then, people have tried shipping him with other female co-stars, and because of that, or female co-leads, however you want to call it, because of that, now his maybe wife is coming into the picture and is, I'm trying to find the right word. His wife is coming into the picture and disclaiming how she feels. Okay, that's the best way I could say it. Disclaiming how she feels about his acting and how she feels. Just being open and honest. Hey, it's a relationship. That's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to talk about your problems with your partner and hope that they can understand and maybe not change, but maybe try to maybe accommodate, think about you, make you feel hurt, make you feel loved, make you not feel, insecure, all those kinds of things, because the mountain shows up right here, which symbolizes a block. Now, I know it's at the bottom, which symbolizes he could be overcoming this block, but just seeing everything that is coming towards him in this position in particular represents an outcome too. But I just want to make sure and just check and see. So I'm going to pull one card. I'm going to pull two cards. One card is going to be the problem card to see what is going on at this very moment. And then we're going to pick out the outcome card. Let's hope this is positive. Wow. The outcome card doesn't seem too positive. I am sorry. I don't know what is going on with him. I'm not sure if he's just recently been wed or if this is a woman that he's probably trying to get to marry. I'm not exactly too sure. It's like I said, he keeps things private. But looking at the outcome card, I definitely see that they always say this represents a deceptive female. So I just have to say that maybe this could be his wife, or maybe this could represent people, because I don't see anywhere where he does not have love for his wife. So maybe this could be all the females that he encounters while on a journey or just doing his career. Or this literally could symbolize how his wife is feeling, and maybe that comes up as a block, because maybe she is maybe putting a hindrance to his career, saying you can't do this or can't do that. Like I said, he might have to start thinking about what to do or what he can't do, because maybe he has to think about how she feels, because the current card right here represents despair, which basically means feeling overwhelmed, feeling actually hopeless, even though this hope card is here. So because of that, like I said, he's at that roadblock. He is currently at this block in his career, maybe. Even though there are opportunities and things coming his way, maybe he has to really take a time, take a pause, take a moment to really sit back and reassess and reevaluate what careers, what jobs he can and cannot take, because he has a wife and child at home. And he also has to think about how his wife feels. nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, literally nothing wrong with that. So we have this pathway symbolizing here, and that could be something that weighs him down, especially if like he has to be two-faced. He wants the career, but he wants the life. He wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. So he's kind of struggling what to do or what he can do with his career. Maybe I don't know. I wish I could help him on what he could say, because people are going to want to see you in a relationship or not, regardless. But maybe just come out and say it. But who knows? That might hinder his opportunities. So with that all being said, I hope he can figure out the best choice for him, whether that is including his wife or not including his wife in these decisions, if he so true is married, but that is questionable. And if he has kids too, that's also questionable. But with all that being said, whatever is going on in his love life bleeds into his career, and because of that, he has to take both into consideration before he can make decisions and attach his name to a movie or title, a motion picture. Before he can attach his name to a motion picture, he has to think very carefully and think maybe long and hard about what to do, and maybe if it's the right priorities. Like they say, he's got to get his priorities straight. And that's what he's trying to work out at this moment. Who knows? Maybe he's secretly wed and the dynamics have changed now that he is married. And the dynamics could have changed now that he has kids, but according to a picture, it looked like he had a few kids. So who knows about that one? So maybe he could have been married for quite a while and it's just starting. Maybe these things are just starting to come up, because maybe, like I said, his career, he was getting roles, but maybe not roles like he's getting now. So therefore that puts another shift in their dynamic. So and that also means that once he was a father that was around more often and a husband that was around more often, is now a husband and father who is around less often, because he has to act. So he's got all this on his plate. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading about Karanvir. I'm sorry, I tried to say his name. We're going to call him K. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. So please give it a thumbs up if you've made it this far in the reading, as well as subscribe if you have not subscribed already. It will really help the channel. And leave a comment on anybody else that you would like me to read on, as well as leave a comment if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Sunflowers.